What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for another podcast once a month. This time, not live due to circumstances. But I think I picked the right time to do this because there was actually no news basically, and the moment we set it up, it's finally some news. I won't say all news, but it's finally some news for us, Juve, and for Inter as well, and Serie A in general. Actually, it's picking up. So. Anthony, how are you? How are you doing?
Good, man. Good to be here. In fact, great to be here. We've barely gotten a chance to get over the season that's happened, and I think we
Yeah,
are T minus 39 days from kickoff. So I'm not ready as a fan, but a lot of things will change in between now and then. And yeah, it looks like I woke up this morning to finally a little bit of movement for Inter. And as of the last couple of days, a little bit of movement for you guys as well, which is good because we really needed to get a move on quickly. But it's great to be here. Great to be in your company. And yeah, if you are watching, everyone, like the video and subscribe to both channels.
yeah. I always forget to say that when I record with
That's
people, but
right.
do that obviously. Yeah, it's good there is a break. The Club World Cup. Yeah, we were there, not for long, and it's good to have no football for it because it's becoming overkill a little bit. I didn't
Yeah,
really enjoy the club, even watching our games. Like I watched it, but the enjoyment is gone. It's too much football. At one point, too much is too
yeah,
much, and it's not fun anymore. It's not exciting anymore. Even the final, like PSG Chelsea, I watched it, but I watched it with one eye on the TV and another eye on something else. Like it's not the
yeah,
same because it's too much. And at one point, it's going to collapse all because the demand is so like the not the demand like it's overkill, but I don't think anyone is asking for it. So at one point
yeah,
they will probably realize this is not going to work. But like you said, T minus 39 days. It's unbelievable. It's only 39 days, and a lot needs to be done for us, especially when it comes to us. For you guys, we will get into that as well because I don't know. Like I had a feeling it's going to be you're gonna sign Boni from Parma, and then let's see. I think like that's the vibe I was getting out of Inter. Maybe if Dumfries leaves, okay, then they will do something. But now the news comes out. Actually, it was a bit confusing when it came out. The news is actually very simple. They agreed terms with Lookman, which I don't think it's difficult because he wants out of Atalanta. So I think that was the easy part. And they're ready to spend 40 million euros, and Atalanta are basically saying that's not enough.
correct.
We want more than 40 million euros. I don't know what it is. Is it 50? I'm assuming it's close to 50, considering how they sold coal miners.
It's they said they want over 40 from Inter or anybody in Italy. They will settle for 40 for offers abroad.
Okay, but knowing Atalanta, it's it won't be easy. It won't be
No
easy,
way.
and they will dig deep. They don't care. That's who they are, and fair play to them because yeah, you have a contract, and if the money is not correct, then you're staying. It's as simple as
Yep.
that. Um, what do you think about that for you guys? Because there's an added tweak to it, which is beneficial for us, but I will keep that in my back pocket for now. But what do you think about Lookman? Is that a player you need, and maybe are like, yeah, if we need to spend 45, then we need to spend 45.
I mean, obviously, like Lookman, and I'm very much in the camp of get the better players in Serie A before you drop money on overseas players these days. I mean, that's for damn sure. Lookman is a player I'd welcome for with open arms for the 40 million price tag. I just can't get excited over any stories at the moment, Ale. Like it all just screams bullshit to me. Until I see some players leave my club, I know what our financial situation is. I know it's improving, and if I'm allowed to say one thing positive, it's improving drastically. But the thing is that we're coming from a financial position so bad that improving it drastically still doesn't mean we have free reign. It's great that there isn't even a conversation about us selling any of our best players at the moment. We really don't need to. If we really needed to, then Hakan would be in the front of a shop window for a kebab and fries for Turkey. But it's not. It's not happening because at the moment we don't need to sell these players. But that says to me that we're not going to invest really unless the profile suits the oak tree model. Does Lookman suit the Oak Tree model? I know he's not old, but he's not young either. I mean, if
How
we've
old?
only got, he's like what, 26, 27?
I'll look it up. I will look it
I
up.
think he might be 27, 28, something like that. Look that up for me, bro. I just think that if we're going to go for any profile, needs to be a young centre back.
He's
And we're not the
27,
only 27, yeah, and we're not the only club in the
and he
world
will
that are
be
linked with
28
names.
this year.
You see, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like, don't get me wrong, fantastic injection of quality, but we have added Bonnie, who is a centralized forward with wing tendencies. We really, if the plan for us is to sell Mehdi Taremi, which I think it is, I think that he's going to go for a small fee. We need a more centralized profile, Ale, because then we're going to be going into next season with Lautaro, Turam, Bonnie, and Pio Esposito. And
Yeah.
out of those four, which don't get me wrong, I like that attack. It's young, it's got a lot to offer, but we need more centrally. You can't just go into next season with Pio Esposito as the only pure number 9 in this squad, because that's what he will be. Mehdi Taremi is supposed to be a pure number 9, a pure 4 striker, but his form doesn't really favor us, and his first season with us was poor. Lookman, great injection of quality, but you'd be adding another forward who's not centralized, another wide player, another techie player, another flary player, which is fine. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Christian Kivu, all he's done is speak about tactical flexibility, which is good. And trust me, bro, he's going to need it. He's going to need to be able to be flexible with this squad. You can't go into next season with the Inzaghi, Antonio Conte regime
No.
of no. These are the 11 starters, and even if you get shot in the left leg, you're still playing for me tomorrow. It's not going to happen. So overall, profile, fantastic. Price tag, fair, very fair. Realistic, no. Dream scenario, send Aslani in their direction for 10 to 12 million on the books, get Lookman in for about 25, 30. But then again, this isn't career mode on FIFA, and you and I aren't playing on the couch.
No, I do have a better scenario for us for your books, and that's Nico
Yeah.
Gonzalez because he's a second
Oh, is that what
option.
you were holding on to this whole time?
Yeah, he's the backup plan, but not for you. Also for Atletico Madrid as well. So they want Lookman as well. So they're also in for Nico Gonzalez. I think there's somebody else on the list of Inter. I forgot the name right now. It was Lookman, Nico Gonzalez, and Jadon Sancho was offered, but we will talk about Jadon Sancho in a second. So it's Nico Gonzalez. He is cheaper. He's only 30 million. He's a year younger. He's 27 already in April. So he's he's a half a year younger because I think Lookman is 28 in October or something. And
You're
it's
you're a
good.
great you're a great salesperson, man.
I mean, actually, I don't like. I don't think Nico Gonzalez is a bad player. It's just not
Me
working out
neither.
for us, and we're asking him to do stuff he's never going to do. So at that point, you need to leave. Like you need to leave. I think his wages are okay. It's 3.5 or like okay. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
Lookman because Lookman will probably come in around 5 million euros. I'm assuming as well. Obviously, people will look at it and be like, "Oh my God, Lookman to Nico Gonzalez," because you've seen what Lookman has done and what Nico Gonzalez has done last season, and yeah, that's two different worlds. That's like for one season, it's like comparing Messi to I don't know what Zaniolo does. Basically, like
Yeah.
that difference is immense, but he's on the list, and I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised. I really wouldn't be surprised if I still think you will get Lookman because I think Atalanta will figure a way out, maybe with another player. I don't know, unless
They just
Atletico
banked.
comes in
They just
hard.
banked. They just banked the 60 million for Retegi. So it's not like they're sitting there scratching their asses, going, "We,
No,
we want to
no,
make a sale." They didn't need the money.
that's for
They didn't
sure.
need the Retegi money to begin with.
No, no, I agree. But the only thing, like, I think it will because Lookman wants out, and I
Yeah.
think kind of it's broken between them. It will. I don't think it will. It will only not happen if Atletico comes in and they're like, boom, 45 million, and here we go, Lookman 5. I think at that point, Lookman will be like, okay, Atletico Madrid, that's also fine for me.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
N-
Yeah.
But Nico Gonzalez, I wouldn't be shocked if Marotta signs a player like Nico Gonzalez, even if it's from Juve. I wouldn't be surprised one bit at all.
How old's Nico Gonzalez?
27. He's 20. He was 27 in April or something.
Like you said, like I've never thought he was a bad player, but I do think he's got so many ceilings, like so many ceilings.
Oh
Like
yeah, for sure.
even when I was watching him at Fiorentina, there were times where I was watching him going, this guy could be good, and then he would fail to do something. Like there was even a game where Inter was playing them and he was having a great game, and then he stepped up to take a penalty against us with 12 minutes left, and like I literally could have sneezed and rolled the ball harder to the goalkeeper
I
than he
remember
did. I don't
that.
know if you remember it. You remember it was about
I
two
was
seasons
watching
ago.
that game. I was
I
watching.
think I think you were watching it because I think I was watching your show after I was watching that game and saw you react to it. And that was one of the
Yeah,
worst
yeah,
penalties one of the worst penalties I've ever seen taken in my life,
yeah,
especially considering he took it towards a low diving goalkeeper. There was no homework
yeah.
done whatsoever.
It was, but I wouldn't be shocked, and it would solve a massive issue for us because we want him out, and we need to recoup some sort of money. The Saudi thing, it sounds nice, but I refuse. Like that's more of a pipe dream for us, for me as a fan, where it's like, oh, finally a Saudi club doing us a solid. They tried to do that in the past, but then we have players who are like, nope, not joining the Saudi league, and we're like, damn it, no luck at all. But I wouldn't be surprised one bit if you fail to get Lukman, that Marotta's like, okay, then Nico Gonzalez, because he is like, that is a Pepe Marotta signing, to be honest. Like that
Yeah, it
really
is.
is. So
When was the
it would
last time
help
we did
us.
business? When was the last time we did business
Ooh,
together besides Juan Cuadrado? Because you got to most people need to understand like
yeah, it
we're
was
getting a deal over the line for Cuadrado coming off a free is very different to actually sending money the other way to each other's clubs. If I remember correctly, I think Lucio went to you guys in
Lucio.
2011. Who else?
Yeah, Lucio. Hernandez,
Herna-
did he
Her-
came from you?
Her- Hernandez. I think Hernandez came straight from us as
Hernandez.
well.
I think it was
Dude, do you remember?
Hernandez.
Remember?
Guarin, the
No,
Vucinic Guarin.
Guarin Vucinic.
That was unbelievable. I will never forget that night on social media. Like the
Me either, bro.
reporting was off the chart. Like it was insane. Like like it was actually done and then it was not done. Like I've
Yeah.
never I've never seen anything like that before. That was crazy. So we don't do a lot of business, obviously, but I wouldn't be surprised if that is a piece of business we get done at one point if the Lookman thing seems to be,
How
very
how
unlikely.
much how much would you guys take for Nico? Bare
We need
minimum.
30
Bearing
million.
in mind this is Marotta, it is
We need 30
Inter.
million.
You need fuck. We're not going to give
For
you
the
30
books, we
million for
need
Nico
30.
Gonzalez. Far out. I hope
Then
we don't.
yeah, but we need 30 million for the books. We
Yeah.
paid 37, more than 37 for him. We need 30 on the books. So that's what we're gonna need. I don't think we're gonna sell them for less,
How
knowing
much?
that maybe Saudi clubs are in.
How much? I know. We're sort of like blending our topics into the one conversation here, which is fine. You
Yeah, that's
guys got the permanency on Chico. Good player. I did see your show yesterday, only about 25 minutes of it because I was busy. You guys ended up paying 30 million, right?
32.
32. Do you think
And
he's
we
worth that?
paid 10 million for the loan last season. No, he's not worth it.
So altogether, it's a 42 package for this guy.
Yeah, that's my point. And people like forget about the 10 mil because you
No, you
cannot get
can't.
better for 30. I cannot, because we
No, you
pay.
can't forget
That's
about it.
part of it. If you made a mistake, let's say, I'm going to exaggerate it right now. Let's say you signed the Bernadeschi we had in our final season and you paid 10 million for the loan and the price tag was now 30. Would you buy him for 30 million? Because you already spent 10 and you're like, okay, we
Mm.
cannot get better for 30. No, you don't do that, in my
See,
opinion.
that's
And I
see, I don't think he's a player in a position where you had to be forced to pay that sort of money. But at the same time, you have this weird situation where he's already integrated to the team in the city. He likes the team. He is a good player, don't get me wrong, and he deserves another chance. But my question for you would be, what were you guys doing the last 4 weeks just sitting on your asses because you ended up paying more than
I have no
the
idea.
point of you guys dragging this out was so you could get Chico on around about that 25 million mark. Drag it out a bit more. Every week you drag it out, you might knock a million off. But now you've overpaid on the. I'm pretty sure you've paid just
Yeah,
the release. You paid the release clause. You paid the release clause basically.
we okay, so the situation is a bit weird. We paid 2 million more so we can pay it over 4 seasons. Otherwise it will be one season, 30 million.
Right.
One, so
It's
that's
like
why.
interest.
But Conceição was 20% on his own sale. And the agreement was that he needed to give that up. And according to reports, he gave that up. Now Sky is saying actually it's not really confirmed. Porto gave him 24 hours until today. We're recording Thursday over here, people. So keep that in mind when I drop it. recording Friday, Thursday morning for me, but I'm dropping it Friday. Um, so we paid a bit more to get it in installments, and we Chico needed to agree that he gave up his 20% on the entire price as well. Which, according to sources, that was the case. He gave it up because he wants to stay at the club, and that's fine. That's all good. I don't like the stories. He rejected the Premier League. He rejected Everton. Like, I'm sorry, he's an international for Portugal. Of course, he's going to reject Everton with all due respect. Like, he can get better than Everton. So I'm not going to hype him up or praise him because he rejected Everton. Who the hell is not rejecting Everton? Let's be real over here. Like, who's joining Everton? Nobody. No serious player wants to play for Everton. What's the point of playing for Everton? You're not winning anything ever. Like, what is actually the point? You join Everton if you are an English player and that's it, or you come from, I don't know, South America and you want to make a name for yourself. That's it. Otherwise, you're not joining freaking Everton. So, but again, maybe I've been too harsh for him, but for me, he's an extremely inconsistent player, and 42 million for an inconsistent player, that's for me insane. That's how I'm looking at it. And I hope
I
it
always
proves me wrong,
I
but
always try and
not seeing
measure these
enough.
deals. I always try and measure these deals to like who else is shopping for you? Are we in a bidding war? Are you actually a
Nope.
commodity that's wanted by the rest of the world? Because if it's only you
No.
bidding against yourself, which is what Inter have done before, which is what Manchester United do all the time, I gotta ask. I always ask myself, where's the inflation coming from? What the fuck is adding value to this deal?
Yeah.
Sorry for my language, but
No, but you're
it's a
correct.
change of times, man. It's a change of times, and like you guys are dealing with it. You know, Inter has never been strong in the market since Moratti left, since he was dropping stupid money. Yes, we've had Marotta in as a great director, but you know, apples and oranges. Marotta hasn't had the bag to work with. He's got the skills, not the bag. Moratti never had the skills, but he had the bag. It's very different. So Inter fans have always been very, all right, let's see what happens this Mercato this season. We've never gone into a season expecting to dominate or, you know, to absolutely turn a market on its head. You guys are now getting used to the fact that you really don't have the muscle and the pull that you used to 3, 4, 5,
No,
10 years
no,
ago. And even then, it was okay last season because you had the ownership with your new director Giuntoli and with Motta. By default, you are Juve. Like, fuck it. Here's 200 mil. Here's 250 mil. Restore the pride. Restore the factors of the club. But it didn't happen. So now you're in the red again. You're not going to drop 200, 250 million again this market. No way. But
no.
you're also in a position where your negotiating skills and tactics at the table are, for lack of a better term, poor in respect to who you are as Juventus. And this is why, like, you need to get your sporting director sorted. And I think it should be Giorgio Chiellini. I don't know what's going on with this situation at LA and
It-
whatnot, but clubs like ours, we need to send people to the table with purpose, with a little bit of fear, and that's not happening anymore. Ale, you got rinsed by Porto. We're getting rinsed by Parma. This is just a
oh
fact of
yeah,
life. We want Leone. It's very, very clear. We've got 30 million available for him. It's not going to happen. He's
but
18
that's
years old. He's 18 years old, and we Inter can't get it over the line for Parma, even though we just deposited 24 million into their bank account 2 weeks ago for Boni. It is what it is.
that's why, and people hate on me when I say that. Do not buy Serie A players. I had enough. Like, we
Really?
are, yeah, like we're linked to
Just in terms
Palestra.
of negotiating with the clubs, it's a
Yeah,
pain in the culo.
screw it, screw it. They don't pay for our players, but we need to pay for them for those players. Atalanta value Palestra at 20 million euros. 20 million euros for Palestra, who played 500 minutes, I think, in Serie A. Somebody told me because I didn't know. And we are selling potentially Miretti for 50 million euros. That's why I've always kept the same idea of do not invest in Serie A players. Look around. There are better players. There are actually better players elsewhere around the world. Not, like, it doesn't always need to be Italian players or Italian league, you know? Because, like, again, 20 million euros for Palestra, and we are moving out Miretti for 12 million euros. That's insane. When we want players from these teams, they're asking premium prices. When they were our players, they cannot pay. Why? Like, this needs to stop. At one point, we funded Udinese's stadium for no good reason at all. We built that stadium through Udinese. Literally, the money we gave them is ridiculous. It needs to stop. I had enough. Like I actually had enough of these clubs paying for players that have 500 minutes in Serie A, 20 million for Palestra. I needed to Google the guy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm honest.
I don't
I
blame
needed to
you.
Google Palestra, and then I wake up and it's like, yeah, we're willing to sell Miretti for 12 million euro. I'm like, hold on. He played 2 seasons Serie A. Called like, what are we actually doing? So screw this area. I don't care. There are better players. Like the league is bad for a reason because we don't have the bad players. We don't have the best players. So why would you keep shopping and say, yeah, there are good players here and there, but the moment they're trying to screw with you, fine, move on. Like move on. That's how I'm looking at it. But it is what it is, I guess. That will never change. I remember Marotta when he was at us. He said we're happy to invest our money in Serie A, so it stays in Serie A. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
no.
but Marotta was doing what any decent director with money would have done then. Because if I was, maybe I'm just wrong. If I was in charge, that would be my strategy. Pick the ripest pieces of fruit that are dangling off the branches in your league. But this strategy only really works when your objectives are very nearby. And, for example, you're sitting on top of the league. You need one signing to guarantee the title again. And rather than spend 30, 40 million on three or four players, you buy a Gonzalo Higuain for 85 million, or you buy a Pjanic for 45 million.
But that
While
that I
Roma is second,
agree.
while Napoli is second. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it's a market strategy. But you and I both aren't in a position to vote that market strategy, are we? We're chasing. We're chasing the pack. Look at the title. Juve and Inter closer now. We might be closer together, but the gap between us and Napoli is widening every day. Like, no offense, I'm sick of waking up and seeing positive news come out of Napoli. Screw them. And they've always been like, I've got family ties to the city, but now I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And they haven't even banked the fucking Oshiman money yet. They have not even banked the Oshiman money yet.
You know what the Napoli transfer thing is? And we're like, this show is just gonna be all over the place, by the way. We're just gonna jump
Yeah,
from
but
topic to topic.
it's a good one. It's a good one though. I like it.
Yeah. What the Napoli thing is, and maybe it's a hot take, the players they're signing, they can sign whatever. They can sign Victor Moses and Antonio Conte will make it work, even
100%.
in 25.
Well
The
said.
moment Antonio Conte leaves, the players they're
Yeah.
signing are not good. I will stick with that. They're
It's
not
so
good enough.
bizarre in football. That's so bizarre that it comes down to one man's man management a lot of the time, Ale. Because I agree with you 100%. You take Conte and Oriali out of that Napoli regime, they're back to finishing fifth, sixth, seventh.
Oh,
Like,
maybe, but like the players are like Lorenzo Luca for 35 million. I think that's pretty steep. I'm not a fan of Lorenzo. Noah Lang, I've watched him in the Belgian league, decent player, but he's not a world beater, And Conte is gonna, like I said, Conte will make it work. Look, he won the league with like big part of that squad, kind of rubbish. Like let's quality wise, I have
bums.
Napoli friends who support Napoli, and they're like, I cannot believe it. Absolutely unbelievable. And they're like, get these players out right now because we definitely need to improve. They're not good enough. They cannot
They
believe
won
that,
the
that he
they
did
won the
that.
they won the title with one Jesus, bro. Like, come
Yeah,
on.
that's my point. So that's why I said, give him whoever he wants or whatever. He will make it work. Like, there's a limit to it. But some of the players are signing, if Conte is gone, they won't be good enough for a different coach. I'm pretty convinced about that. But they're backing Conte, and like you said, they're running away with it right now. There's no competition at this moment in time because I think your squad is still good, but the coach is unknown. Like he's very unexperienced. Like you don't expect him to beat out Conte. Like with all due respect, like it sounds very impossible. With was it 30 games of top flight experience compared to Conte winning basically
It's not
everywhere he
happening.
goes,
No, no,
it
it's
feels
it's
impossible.
it is impossible. It is
That
impossible, my
means
friend.
the only way that happens if you have an insane squad. But I've seen the Lotara on the Hakan thing. I
Ugh.
mean, the squad is not a squad right now. Like let's like it's what like it couldn't be more clear. Even Marotta came out. Like there's probably some divides within the locker room.
100%.
So that's not going to help with a very unexperienced coach to beat out Antonio Conte. It feels impossible to do. And you can sign whoever you want. It feels like impossible right now.
No one expects to challenge Conte this season. But just going back on one thing you said, yeah, 35 million is steep for Luca, but in terms of your Romelu Lukaku second man and replacement, that's perfect. You've just dropped 30 million on a guy for Udinese that scored 11 goals last season. And 11 goals isn't a lot, but for Udinese, it actually is. They play disgusting football. They play one of the worst brands of football in the country and have ever since they've been back in Serie A. And it hasn't improved through various managers. Lorenzo Luca's signing for Napoli next season is pricey, but it's exactly the sort of signing that Conte wants because now he's got Lukaku and now he's got Lorenzo Luca. All the pieces are lining up for Antonio Conte perfectly. Whereas the pieces in Turin are scrambled across the chessboard, and the pieces in our club are scrambled across the chessboard as well. It's a mess, man. Like I can't believe. And you know what? There's a couple of Napoli fans I know that did think this would happen. Especially one of my friends, Armando, who's from the city. He lives in Australia now. He was telling me a year and a half ago. He goes, "Anthony, prepare for a bigger shift, bigger power shift in the country." And I didn't believe him for a year and a half until I saw it last year, and I thought that it would axe with the Conte thing going back to you guys. But when he decided to stay at Napoli, it just put everything into place for me. And I thought, no, 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 this guy's right. ADL has been hoarding money. He didn't bank the Crava money straight away, and he's given Conte and Oriali the keys to the city. They've got their new training development program that's just started. They're investing money in their infrastructure as well. Napoli, for the first time in our lives as fans, are behaving like a huge club. They're behaving like a big club in the country because the only way
I
for
agree.
Antonio Conte to knock you guys back, he was ready. He couldn't even look ADO in the eye when he won the Scudetto. He must have heard something on that phone call that stacked it up on paper and went, no, 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 no. I'm Antonio Conte and I will go wherever I have the statistical highest chance of winning, which is Napoli by a country mile in this nation at the moment.
You know what it is? The like at the end of the day, if Elkan wakes up and he's like, it's enough, and I'm gonna actually step away and I'm gonna put somebody in place and he's gonna do it. I'm not gonna. We still have like we are the richest club in the country, like by a
Yep.
country mile still, and we can like if the club is very serious, they can come back really quickly because the infrastructure, the stadium, like the incomes, it's all us. Like the money compared to Napoli, it's not even close. Like the money we can generate, even when we're crap, it's not even close. The issue is like you said, it's all over the place. You sack again people 1 week before the window opens. Yeah, it's not smart. It's actually not smart. Like it's a simple. And now we're in a situation where Komoli needs to do whatever he can. Because I understand him saying, "Well, I'm not going to pick my sporting director just because I have a transfer window right now. What if I make the wrong mistake? I'm going to take my time and I'm going to figure it out on my own right now." And that's what's happening. Figure it out on my own. And for us fans, it's very confusing. And maybe it's because he's new and nobody has real information. Because leaking stuff, yeah, like you actually need to go to agents right now rather than the club leaking stuff. Because right now, I think if I ask you, can you believe that we've been linked with about five strikers and about five midfielders and one defender? I mean, that's ridiculous. Like that's actually ridiculous. At this point, we're all talks about Jadon Sancho and Conceição keeping Colomani. We wanted Oshiman. Now we had some talks for Rashford as well, which is something separately. Then Yulmund and Ederson and defenders, nothing. Nothing, and that is for fans why it's so confusing. It's like what do you want to do as a club right now? Nobody knows what we actually want to do. I think Komoli came into a place where it's like Tudor is here. What are we going to do? It was obvious that we wanted somebody else. I don't care what the club said. It was pretty obvious. We wanted Conte, and for some reason they failed to get Conte, and it will come out. Conte came out and said, "I never had an agreement." Okay, that could be true, but something happened because not everyone on this planet can be wrong. I'm sorry. Like it was every single source out there. It wasn't just one
Yep.
source. It was just
100.
everybody knew that was probably going to happen. So you can say whatever he wants, and people say, "Oh, but he's not gonna lie." Yeah, he is. Like he's not gonna say,
That
"I was joining Juve, but it collapsed, so here I am, Napoli. I'll stay."
was
He's not gonna
perfect.
say that. He's not
People
gonna
say he's
say
not going
that.
to lie. Yeah, he is.
Definitely, he's going to lie.
they're
Like
just they're
why?
just people. They're just people at the end of the day, guys, working another job the same way you and I are. They will lie.
Yeah, but the thing is, why wouldn't he have said, "I'm staying"? Why did he need 2, 3 meetings for? De Laurentiis? Why did he need time before like? Fine, whatever. We wanted Gasperini, but we were too late, way too late. I get why Gasperini said, "Guys, you're changing so much. What am I stepping into?" So I get his point of view, and now it's like, yeah, we're gonna keep Tudor because at this point, I agree. I'm like, you're panicking, and when you're panicking, it's just better to stick with Tudor. Otherwise, you're going to make things much, much worse, most likely. Conte is a sure thing. If you didn't get him, you're going to scramble, and you're going to do some random stuff. You're going to regret because you're going to get a coach who you just felt like it stumbled into signing. Basically, you're going to make signings for him, and then half a season into it, you're like, snap, this is actually not it again. So it's difficult for Comoli, but you sign for Juve, so there are expectations. It's as simple as that. There are expectations, and you have tons of experience, and now you need to figure a way out of this mess. And the mess you didn't create, but you can add to it. And right now, the fans have a feeling he's adding to it. He's just adding to it. That's how fans are looking at this situation because it's the third week of July and we signed Jonathan David. What people forget, by the way, but we we signed Jonathan David.
Good signing, good signing. But
Yeah,
I feel like your club got it over the line nice and quick to make sure that yeah, there was some
I
quiet
keep
time for a
forgetting
while.
about it to be honest, but you kept Concesao, who he was here, and you had a 30 million clause. You wasted so much time. It was there. Now you need to go back for Colomani to get that done, and then everybody's sitting here, me included, every single day. I'm like, I'm like, guys, that backline is bad. It's really bad. They are
It's
like
the
everybody has a
worst back line
feeling.
I've seen.
Oh, country mouth for at this
Yeah,
club, it's poor. I've not seen
in my
this
life,
bad
yeah,
of a
worst
level.
back line
Yeah,
I've seen.
right now everybody has a feeling they wake up at the Continassa and they have a statue of the Maria and they are praying. Clayson Bremer comes back in August and he is Clayson Bremer from last October and injury free, and that's it. And even then, it's not good enough because like he on himself is not going to save that entire back line. He will save a
No,
lot, but not that entire back line. He needs help in terms of minutes. He's not going to play week in week out. Van Dijk, when he come back, he had a poor season, and then he picked it up afterwards. We have Kelly, Savona, Kalulu, Gatti, Rugani wants to say. I'm like, what the hell is this? What are we? Like a charity project or are we a football club? Are we a top
that's
football
bad,
club?
man. That back line will leak enough goals to put you in a top four fight by default.
Oh yeah, that's why we're in the top five right now, all season. Because we lead goals and there's no
Our
leader at the
back line's
back.
not any better.
I mean, it's better than ours.
Yeah.
Much better. I mean,
Um,
and the worst part is he plays a formation where he's playing players out of position. I'm like, you're killing these guys, Tudor, as well. Is that to send a signal to the club saying, okay, this is what I have, but it's not good enough. But we're not being linked with defenders, and that is extremely worrying. With 39 games, 38 days, excuse me, right now, until we kick off the season, and we're gonna kick off the season with a backline of Gatti, Kalulu, and Kelly. I'm sorry, that's not good enough. You probably conceive from Parma.
it's shit. It's shit. It's really bad. No.
Like I don't get it. So I don't know. Like when people say stay calm, he's just here. But I cannot staying calm because if that's the back line, are you going to stay calm the entire season? Are you just going to sit back and be like, yeah, Komoli just came in? I don't care if you just came in. You can see that we lack quality in that back line. Everyone can see that. If you came in August, wait, 1 day before the window closes or 2 months before the window closes, everyone knows that back line lacks everything.
Have you
Quality,
guys have you guys considered putting Bremer on the market?
no,
I
not
know
yet.
he's. Yeah. Look, fair enough. I can't speak because he's not my player, but and I know when in form and fit, he's the best centre back in the league. I'm just saying, man, for his market value at 52.5 million, it wouldn't
Yeah,
be the
but he had an
worst thing in the
injury.
world.
I don't think anyone is going to buy
Yeah,
him
you're right.
after a year.
These values don't take into account like
He's
actual
been
context
out.
in the world.
Yeah.
You're right.
Oh, they're taking their
Yeah.
time to not rush him back, but we did that with Chiesa, and he was, picking up
Look, it's
injury after injury. So, like, if we are lucky, he doesn't pick up injury because Chiellini Torres ACL, came back and was as good, only a bit more fragile. So the hope is he comes back and he just picks it up, and like you said, he's the best center back in the league, debatable, but he's up there, like he's unbelievable. And if not, then yeah, he will struggle. And I cannot blame Bremer coming back and struggle, to keep up with the pace at the beginning and stuff like that. That's only normal. Like you can train for 5-6 months, but game is different. Like the intensity is different, everything is different. So that is the big worry sign for me. Yeah, Jadon Sancho this and Huylman this and that. I'm like, we have no defenders. We have
Yeah.
defenders, but only by position, by name.
Yes.
But actually on the pitch, they don't look like defenders. Nobody can defend. That's actually the worrying thing for us right now. But that's one of the problems. Another problem we have is Vlahovic.
Yes. Let's
That's
talk.
that's the reporting around the Vlahovic situation makes it all much worse slash funnier, because apparently his agents do not want to travel to Torino to talk to the club before they get clarity. And I'm like, you probably should travel to get clarity. I don't like, what are you expecting? Like the club to send, I don't know, something, you know, by a pigeon? Like, I don't know what they want. Like, what type of communication do they want from the club? It's pretty obvious what the situation is. We signed Jonathan David, we're trying to keep Colomani. Read the room. Like, read the room. He wants his money, talks about a contract termination, talks about Milan sitting it out, waiting it out. He wants a big wage. I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what's going on with Vlahovic. The only thing I know for certain is he needs to leave. And
Yeah.
that's coming from the club. You need to leave. And I'm a bit surprised that even I didn't expect that from him, because I thought he was like, okay, he's young. He's 24, 25. Like, why is he wasting time? Like, he's playing with his career. Like, I'm
Yep.
being that serious right now. He's playing with his career. People say he has the money, and if he wants his money, fair play. That's your contract. But you can get your 12 million you're gonna get from us, and in training, break your leg. I hope it doesn't happen. What money are you gonna get the following seasons? Like, it's a strange situation. I think he will end up leaving, but I'm not sure why he's taking so much time. Like right now, his mindset is, I'm not listening to anyone. I don't get it. I don't get it.
These modern day athletes, these prima donna style, it's very bad. The way that, even if I take my Inter goggles off for a second, no player should be treating your club like this. But at the same time, these are the sort of moments that should get the board of directors together, that should get people behind the scenes together and go, we cannot make mistakes like this again. This is our mistake. Vlahovic on paper is within his rights to do this. Yeah, it makes him a prick. Yeah, it makes him unlikable. Yeah, it makes him hateable. Yeah, overall, it just makes you look like a bad person. But he didn't walk into Turin 5 years ago and write that number on a piece of paper. You guys wrote the number on a piece of paper and slided it across to him. And this sort of method and mechanism it's not finishing up, it's dead in Italy. I've got a thumbnail pending, and I'm glad I didn't do the video this morning, because I probably would have lost some subscribers. And the title is Finished. Finished, with a photo of Marotta and Auxilio on the front, and it says finished, because their way of doing things, Ale, is finished. You cannot go and drop these contracts on players anymore. You are literally signing a death sentence to your club financially in the future. The one positive for Inter at the moment is that Beppe Marotta will not get to leave Inter's books in the same state that he left yours in Turin. He won't have a chance to. I'm sure if he did have a chance to, he would. We'd have a whole bunch of free signings on 6 million euros per season, 30-year-olds. And when he leaves in 2.5 years, he'll leave the problems with us. We won't even get a chance to do that, because his way of doing things is finished. Auxilio's way of doing things is finished. Once again, I'm glad I didn't do that video this morning, because I would have released it, and then the Lookman rumors would have come out and I would have looked like a dickhead. But at the same time, it's still my opinion, man. Like, the movement is too slow, and your directors and my directors, they don't have a gauge on the locker room. They don't have a gauge on
No.
control. There's no real behavior management at the moment. I hate to talk like the teacher that I am, but there is no behavior fucking management at the moment. Everyone's allowed to run around and just run amok, and people aren't holding them accountable. And yeah, we've it's sad because at Inter we went through a period with Inzaghi where we saw the opposite. We genuinely did see the fact that okay, these players, they're playing for the badge, they're playing for the coach. They realize the situation isn't fantastic, but they're all here and they want to play for Inter. Well, that all changed when you concede 5 goals in the Champions League final. You've got that problem, but you've had that problem for a while now,
Yeah,
which is why I think
yeah.
it's very important for Chiellini to stay in your club. But the warning signs were there for you guys. You know, Buffon exited in more ways than one. So did Giorgio to an extent. Like all of your, there was never any effort from your legends to stay within the club, not even from an arm's reach. That would have been the biggest red flag. And we've seen that over the years with the treatment of Del Piero and whatnot. But lack of, it all comes back to DNA, man. You guys need some Juve DNA injected into your club. We need some Inter DNA injected into our club ASAP because right now, you and I, we're just both, we're on the same level as most other clubs, and we're not meant to be on that level. We're meant to be a little bit special. If we're allowed to be a little bit cocky and arrogant for a second, we're supposed to be a little bit special. We are,
Well,
and you are.
it's not cocky. Like that's why, like I've said it many times. Like this channel, whatever, it's a hobby. Like it's a hobby. If I really want to get paid and live off it, I can do it. But I need to change my tune of how I do my videos.
I was literally
It's
telling my
very
wife last night if I wanted to make money, I'll pick any of the top 300 topics in the world and start doing YouTube videos on that. It's very different.
Yeah, but even when it comes to our club, I will just be extremely positive about literally anything. And I will go with like even the club today. Like usually they once a week or every single day they post a video of the players walking to training and the players say buongiorno and all that crap. And they posted we missed the buongiorno thing. And I'm like, what have we become? That's what you miss? I miss winning. Like,
Yeah,
and people feed off that because yeah, that's social media today, and that like I can switch up this channel and be extremely positive and everything will skyrocket. Followers, views, everything, but I will not do it for the love of the club, whatever. I will do it, I will fake it. I need to fake
yeah.
it, and I'm gonna do it for a month, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm done. Like I just cannot do it. So
I
I don't
feel you,
care
bro.
about that. This is just a hobby because
Yeah.
otherwise I would have had all these thoughts in my head. Right now, I'm sharing it with people who might or might not agree with me, and that's fine. But that's that I agree with you. That's what the
Well,
situation is at the club. So we need to be cocky because at the end of the day, as a Juve fan, we win. Like that's it. The club wins. Period. It's about winning and absolutely nothing else. And the moment you do not win, you get called out. It's a very simple concept. I don't get it. Like, are we supporting Genoa or Juve? Sometimes I need to ask these questions. Or
yep.
Sassuolo
Yep.
or
Good
Juve.
questions.
Like at the end of the day, people are like you're being too harsh. No, I'm not. We haven't won for 5 years. Like
Yep.
why? Like how is that being harsh? If how did like we won 9 in a row, and that's probably not going to happen again. But those were standards. Winning, it was normal for us. We won every single year, or we were competing every single year. We're not even
That's the
competing.
key word is the key word is competing. Winning,
Yeah,
like I used to always tell my students, I will never ask you to win the grand final, but I expect you to make the semi-final or the grand final every season because that's a reflection of your consistency, of your competition. I could go 3, 4 years, 5 years in a row without winning the title, provided that we were there. 3 points, 6 points, 8 points. But the fact of the matter is you're right. You've blinked, and this season will be 6 years without a Scudetto. And I've got to say, even if this makes me sound shit for a second, 6 years for Juve without a Scudetto, guys, I got to say, you're teetering very close to 10 years for Inter without a Scudetto. The parallels are there. 10 years for both of us is not on. We should be going longer than you guys. But if you guys don't win it, say the season after this one, 7 years without a Scudetto for Juve is the exact same as 10 years without a Scudetto for Inter.
oh
Exactly the
yeah,
same.
I think we
And there is
already
no
reached
Juve fan
that.
that there's no Juve fan that could sit there and go, oh, but you guys didn't win it for 10 years. Like, no, you're now in that bracket. You qualified for that bracket once you hit the fourth or fifth season. You are in a banter era. And the thing about
Yeah, yeah.
Juve's banter era is that I feel like you've already been in your banter era for about 2 years. It's just now people are sort of admitting, okay, we are in a banter era. We need to claw our way out of it.
You know what's worse? Even in our banter era, we spend money, but we we throw it away. That makes it much, much worse. It feels like Manu. They are in a banter era, but they spend money. Not this season,
Yeah.
but throughout the times they were spending
Yep.
money. and they were never like, it was getting worse and worse and worse
Yes.
and worse and worse. So maybe I'll need to give Komori time, and he is the right guy to set it all right, and he needs some time to settle in everybody in his position, because he made it very clear he wants certain profiles to, because he came in, he said, I came into the club and I've seen one guy do a job that three guys need to do. He said that's not going to work anymore, because I'm going to bring somebody else in for that job, so everybody can focus on their own thing. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Maybe that needs to
Yeah.
happen. I have
Yeah.
no idea. I have no idea. And if that is what needs to happen, fine. I will eat up my words. But right now, I have every single right. I've every right, because the evidence out there that it's not good enough and it needs to be better, much better. So I will not come on and say what people would say, for example, that players can do a job. If the job is not winning, then it's not the job that is required to be at Juve. When players, if we talk about Juve players doing a job, the job is winning. That's the only job they need to do for us. When it comes to McKennie, Kostic can say, oh, fans are like, oh, but he can do a job. No, no. If the job is he wins us stuff, then yes, he's done a job. If the job is just stealing money of the club, that's not a job. Like, I don't know what, that's the Italian job. If everyone remembers that movie, that's a different type of job. That's the standards I have. Rugani coming back after his third loan spell, and people are like, he can do a job. I mean, yeah, fifth option if we sign two new center backs. If not, at one point he's going to play so many games, it's going to cost us by default, because he's not good enough player. So that's my thing. It's frustrating, but we've been here ever since I started the channel, sadly enough. But we need to deal with it, and we just need to not accept it. Okay, you need to accept the reality. I think that's important. Accept the reality, and then say, okay, this is not okay. I think many people have not still accepted the reality, and that's the problem, in my opinion. Um, but that's it. Before we wrap it up, last topic ish. We have a problem. Do you still have a problem when it comes to Lautaro, Hakan? Because
I have a
I'm not gonna
problem.
lie,
I definitely have a problem.
you have a problem. But when Marotta came out and said that, I was like, oof, what just happened? I thought it was a parody account on Twitter. I was like, surely not. He didn't say. He said that. I was like, wow. And now it's all about pay us or he's not leaving. And I'm like, oh, he definitely needs to leave right now. Like, you cannot
Bro.
keep him. Like,
Like
so what is your
that's not the sort of player you want to bank on their
no?
emotional welfare to give you a product. That's for sure. Phew.
So what is the situation, or like what is your opinion on it, and like how is it being discussed? In the interworld, because I've not been following it ever since those comments.
No, rightfully so. So anybody that follows me on Interworldwide will know that, I'm a little bit unpopular as per usual because, same as Alice saying before, sometimes my opinions, maybe they're not correct. But to be honest, I hated what Lautaro said. I hated it more than
I
anything in
agree.
the world.
I
And
agree.
I forget the last time we recorded together, I know we'd lost the Champions League final, but were we discussing this a month ago about Lautaro's interview or not yet?
No, no, no.
Okay, so that would have all happened probably like T minus 24 to 48 to 72 hours after we teed up last time. Um, he started it. And everyone on my subscribers and my chat was saying, why are you going for Lautaro and not going for Beppe? I'm like, guys, to be honest with you, it's Beppe's fucking job, whether you like it or not. He is the CEO.
Yeah.
He is the president. Lautaro Martinez is the captain of personal athletes. He is not the CEO. He is not the president. He is not a shareholder. He is not the owner. You do not get to come out to the camera and say, oh, if you want to stay, stay, or if you want to leave, leave. That might be a notion that you as a captain are allowed to have, but the fact that you front up to the cameras and the media right after being eliminated from the Club World Cup and losing the Champions League final 5-0, I'm not a fucking moron. And I don't need 11 years of psychology study up my belt to know that you are weak right now. You are vulnerable right now. You are not talking to the camera. You are abusing the camera. You are an emotional piece of shit that's off your leash at the moment, and you need to shut up. You need to shut up. Go and take your 12 out of 10 supermodel wife, your beautiful kids, go and pay for your luxurious holiday, eat the best food in the world, drink the best liquor in the world, smoke the best cigars in the world, come home, get on the football pitch and run around like the paid dog that you are. I'm really sorry, Ale, but it really pisses me off when it comes to this sort of stuff because it's a reflection of the club. We don't have stable owners. And a captain doesn't come out and talk like this unless if there is no stability. Would Giorgio Chiellini ever speak like that about his club? Would Javier Zanetti ever speak like to the camera like that? Would Paolo Maldini ever speak to the camera like that? Never. And I know we're in a different generation of spoiled athletes. I know we're in a different generation of the fact that taking accountability for your own performance on the pitch doesn't happen anymore. Back in the day, if you had a bad performance, there were a bunch of trainers in the locker room ready to smash your head against the locker and go, you'll be back in 21 days, go run with the reserves. Now you have a bad game. Oh, well, you go to the locker room. Sign in. Got 64 messages from some pretty hot chicks tonight, Ali. I'm invited to four parties. Got another car this week. Got another house this week. Things are looking okay just because I didn't score a goal tonight. That's the difference. And people might think that now you're really just nitpicking theoretically. Like, no, these are fundamental aspects when it comes to consistent performance at top level in any industry. And right now you are seeing a lack of performance at top level from the highest paid players at multiple clubs around the world because of issues like this. Now, is Marotta absolved from blame? No. I'm one of Marotta's biggest fans, but this is why I keep saying his way of doing things is outdated. The guy is old. He is a nonno. So it's not his job to put out spot fires anymore for 28-year-olds who can't control their tongue. I guarantee you Beppe Marotta saw what Lautaro said and got up and literally said the sentence, I am too old for this shit. I am too old to stat pad the emotional stability of my captain. I'm done. I'm out. I can't manipulate the market anymore. I don't have gravitational pull in Italy the way I used to. I'm not Beppe Marotta anymore. He's not. So when Inter fans come out and say, oh, what are we going to do when Marotta leaves in 2027? I'll be like, bro, let him leave in 2026. Let him go. This is why I'm not that against Christian Kievil coming in. If the club wants to do the right thing, start from scratch, build young, build flexibly, we can look forward to some positive times in the future. Yeah, it'll be a rebuild. Yeah, we might not dominate the league, but there's still a lot of excitement that can come with doing things the right way, Ali. Doing things the right way. The right way is not the Beppe Marotta way anymore. And he knows that. He knows that better than anybody, which is why his attempt at putting out the Lautaro spot fire, bro, he's so old, his eyes must have mistaken the water can for the gasoline can because that's exactly what happened. He
Yeah,
looked
he
to the
made it.
side, shit, wrong can, boom, fuck this, I'm out. See ya, I'm done. Can't do this
He
anymore.
he made it much worse. I'm not gonna lie. He made it so much worse. Like I think Lotaro was just backing up, and Beppe came in and he said to Lotaro, just you know, stand on the pedal, just run him over,
Yeah.
do it now. Like that's what happened. I was like, usually you come out and you try to say, you know what, we'll talk about it in house and whatever. Now you plummeted Chanaloglu's value as well. They can say we won 30 million, but you're not going to get that. If any club wants them and it's a smart club, they're not going to pay that. Why would they? We know what the situation is, and whatever they do, make up, in the locker room, it's never going to be made up. When
No.
wives were involved on social media, it's done. It's done. Like you can play. And again, in the locker room, I remember Manu, the old Manu, the players in the locker room, they all did like each other. But those teams were winning and dominating. That's not the case right now. And
No.
you're just not gonna, like, when you're winning, you don't like the guy, but whatever. I need him because we're
Yeah.
winning. I need
Yep.
it. I need you and you need me because we need to win. Period.
Yep.
It's business
It happened
transaction.
all the time at big clubs. When
Yeah,
you and I were growing
it
up, this was
happens.
very common in locker room, very common. But
Yeah.
people were more durable, are they? People could cop criticism and stuff like that and just shrug it off and go, no, this is my world and I will continue existing in it. This is what I'm saying. All these modern day athletes, they've got multiple worlds. They got multiple worlds, man. Someone slangs a bit of criticism to someone in the locker room these days, they're going to tell them to fuck off and they won't pass to them
Yeah.
in the next game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they'll go and
You're
reply to their
correct.
60 messages from baddies. That's what happens. That's what happens, man. It's a mess.
You're correct. That's why I would agree. Like the way Marotta acted to it is not the best way. He made it worse. He made it worse, and like there's no way back. So I don't know how that situation is going to get resolved. Probably with Hakan leaving. I think that's the most likely outcome.
Well, that's what I
Um,
want.
Yeah, it's probably going to happen. I guess at one point, he wants Galatasaray, but then again, they're spending so much money on Osimhen, so who
But
knows?
dude, like you know how corrupt Galatasaray is as a club. Like they monopolized the whole Turkish league. I have absolutely no doubt the owner has spoken to Hakan days after that Champions League final and went, "You'll come to us and we will drag it out until the last second." And I'm just letting you know right now, we're not giving Inter a dollar over 10 to 15 million. And Hakan's like, "Yeah, I'm just as patient as you guys are, to be honest." And that's
Actually,
probably
like,
what's going to happen. It's
yeah,
disgusting. It makes me sick to my stomach, but it is going to happen.
yeah, yeah. They're not going to pay 30 million for Hakan. There's no
No
way.
way.
There's
He wasn't
absolutely
worth
no
30
way.
million. You probably saw my channel live. When Bayern
Yeah, yeah.
were rumored to bid 30 mil, I came
I
out on
remember
screen
that.
and I went, bro, you guys need to drive this guy to Munich himself, man.
Yeah,
Honestly. But
yeah, yeah.
but that's
I
just
agree.
it. Fans get very attached to the emotional need to keep players on. I'm not like that. I've got a health and exercise science background. So when you have your same recurring muscular injury every 4 months for the last 3 to 4 years, and you've still got a value of 30 million, all I see is money and going, you're going to pay me for a broken car, basically, a car that I need to sell in
Yeah,
2 years anyway, and you're going to offer me almost dealership prices for my broken car that I'm about to put on the market in 6 months with no registration on it. No one sees it like this, Ale. Nobody sees it like this. They're completely romanticized by it. So many people on my channel are like, how could you even think about selling Hakan when there's no direct replacement at the moment? What do you mean no direct replacement at the moment? Who's not doing their job in the industry? What, you're going to tell me right now that there is not a single scout in world football that can scout a defensive midfielder under the age of 31 without a recurring muscular injury? Get castle, man.
yeah.
I
But
don't know.
like that's ridiculous. I like that's when every fan base. Oh, you cannot replace him. Everyone is replaceable. Like otherwise, the club would have stopped existing a year after they started. You know, what were founded. Because after year one, players left. Then stop.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. Like you cannot go ahead. Like we lost. I'll keep saying it to people when people are like, oh, but McKennie's a good squad player. You need to keep him or Kostic or
No.
we lost world class play. Like we lost like absolute world class, like legends. 100 years from now, these players are going like Buffon, to name like a few, like yeah, Ronaldo. Like we lost absolutely insane players, and the club
Yep.
still exists. The club still exists. We lost
This
players like
whole
Baggio at the time. Like you can go back 100 years basically. The club still exists. So you're telling me we cannot replace Gatti and players like that. Come on, cut it out. Stop. Like I'm not doing this. I don't have time for those conversations anymore.
players like McKennie will never be good enough for Juventus. Players like Gatti will never be good enough for Juventus. Players like Kostic will never be good enough for Juventus. Not from a rotational point of view, not from a squad point of view. These are the players that you need to cut your ties with ASAP, man, because they're simply not good enough to play for your C team.
Yeah, but that's a weird topic in our fan base. But
Mm,
it is what it is. I made my peace with
yeah.
it, and I just deal with it right now my own way. Um, but yeah, I think we covered basically everything. It's total chaos. Like
It
I
was a
picked the
great
right
show, man.
time.
I don't know. I don't know about you, but it's filled me with more
Yeah.
energy. It was like this was like what people pay top dollar therapy for. So I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I picked the right time by chance. I didn't know that, but it's total chaos from players talks to, we don't need that guy, we need that guy, or we need those positions. What are you doing? To links that make absolutely no sense whatsoever and ridiculous fees. Maybe it's kicking off. Maybe now it all kicks off and everybody woke up and it's like, ah, snap. The season kicks off in about 38
It
games
does. 38
days.
days. Actually, I was going to say before we finish, can we do something fun? I know it's your show, but I'm pretty sure I can still share my screen from this, can't I?
Yeah, you can.
I'm just going to try something. And I know it's your show, but just give me a second.
Well, I'll bring it on if you
Yeah,
have it.
bring it up. Yeah, yeah, it's there in the background. There you go. So we'll just look at it for a second because I know the trim doesn't really suit it. But yeah, you're right, man. We're very, very goddamn close. And there's your kickoff. And if I scroll down a little bit more, there's ours. So, oh wait, can't see that
Yeah.
on the screen. There we
The
go. We are
24th.
very, very close, ladies and gentlemen. Extremely close to kick off next season. Genoa and Lecce to kick us off. Sassuolo, Napoli, Milan, Cremonese, Roma, Bologna. And before you know it, bro, you guys will welcome Parma. Hopefully a Leone-less Parma to your ground. And we will host Torino. And the magic starts again,
Yes.
Ale.
Oh, a Monday. First game on a Monday. That's brutal. Not
Shit. So
gonna
that,
lie.
that means it's 4:45 in the morning on a
Oh my god.
Tuesday for me. I took a vow. I took a vow after the Champions League final. This season is just all about sleep. I've made a promise to myself. Like, I have to keep my eyes closed. I cannot just wake up and get out of bed willy nilly. I can't do it. I need to love myself more and respect myself more. And I need to close my eyes and go back to sleep more often than not.
Yeah, I mean it's bad. Uh oh, yeah, anyway. But yeah, you're right. It is close. It's really, really close, and we need to accept it, and the club needs to just wake up. They just need to wake up.
Yeah.
Because it's time. But maybe, we did something today when we were recording this. People, keep in mind it's recorded on Wednesday/Thursday morning over here right now. Probably will drop on a Friday. So if something happened, which we discussed, and it's not, it's not real anymore, or the Jadon Sancho deal is off or whatever, it is what it is. It's part of the conversation, and that's that. Next show will be on Anthony's channel, maybe just before we kick off the season or after our first game day. It depends, probably. Either way, it's maybe after the first game day makes more sense, and we have a result, and probably the end of the window as well, which maybe make more sense to do that. But yeah, like the video, subscribe to Anthony's channel, Inter Worldwide. Even if you're not an Inter fan, it's good. It's actually good to watch because you will have some head losses, like you seen a couple of minutes ago. And well, most of my subscribers do not like Inter, so it's probably lovely content. Because I have people on from your channel in the comment section underneath the videos every single day laughing at me. But the game is the game, I guess.
The
And
game is the game.
it's part of it. That's part of it. But thanks for joining because I know you were a little bit, under the weather.
Yeah, but I
But
feel better now after this. So thanks, man.
but yeah, people, that's it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will see each other tomorrow. Ciao.
Ciao.